I'll have a podcast. My name is Ren, and I am the host every single time you click on this podcast. I meant to say podcast. Apparently got videos on the brain. How is everyone doing? I can start off by saying my voice is doing pretty good. I've been going to vocal therapy. If you haven't listened to other episodes of the show, you might not know what the hell I'm talking about. But, yep, going to speech therapy. Also, oh my gosh, I do this every time and I don't even introduce the show. Basically, what Someday I'll Have a Podcast is, it's a little passion project of my own, one of many. But it's basically like we can't keep pushing off the things that we want to do for someday, because someday seems to just never freaking come. You know what I mean? So no matter what that is for you, if it's a place you want to go, a project you want to start, a person you want to talk to, make your someday today like I'm doing with this podcast. And so basically the things that I cover here is anything and everything, because I'm literally just a person. I'm not going to give myself any more credibility than I deserve. I'm just an average human just like you, with thoughts and feelings and emotions and ponderings about this world that we live in. And so that's what you can expect to find in Someday I'll Have a Podcast. It's also very lightly edited, if at all. So basically today I got the notification that my storage on my phone was full, which is crazy because I literally feel like I delete things every other day. But long story short, there's a little album on my phone of little videos of me just jibber-jabbering away about things that I would like to cover someday on Someday I'll Have a Podcast. And so to clear up some space on my phone, I'm like, damn, I got to delete some of these like random 2-minute long videos, because truthfully that takes up a lot of space on our little tiny little phones that we think are so powerful, but literally have a memory the size of like my pinky toe. That's okay. It's all good. We can just throw it in the cloud. Throw it in the cloud that you have to pay more for. Good try, buddy. Okay, anyway. And so one of the videos actually was that I'm going to kind of talk about today was me talking about this phenomena, this idea of, you have to love yourself first before you can let anyone love you. And, okay, let's just say I took my little video in January of 2022. So, like almost 2 years ago now. LOL. And it's a really cliche statement, and you see it on like cute little calligraphy postings on Facebook and all these random little places, love yourself first and all that. But truthfully, like that day that I took that video, or it was like clicking for me. For the first time, I was like, I think I really get like the deeper sense of what that means, or what people mean when they're saying that sort of thing. Also, forgive me in advance because I'm watching the little noise waves and I keep having issues with this microphone. So thank you for bearing with me and being so kind. So back to what I'm talking about. It goes far deeper than being like, yeah, I'm confident in myself and I'm okay being alone. Those are wonderful things. Those are great sentiments to have and like really are necessary. I would say they're necessary. But what I got out of that phrase once and took with me was that, truthfully, from the day you're born to the day you die, you are the only person that you have. People are going to come and go in your life. That includes siblings and parents and family, and as far out as to teachers and friends and acquaintances and all these other people that we encountered through our lives, coworkers and whatnot. So the idea is that you truly, your internal brain, everything that encapsulates you as a person, your body, mind, and soul, you really only have you to live with, guaranteed, the whole time. Sure, we have people that we walk through life with and people that will stay by our side indefinitely. At least that's what one would hope for and what every person wishes for, right? Is that great blessing. But at the end of the day, you're all you have. And it's not like in a depressing way, not by any means. But think about it. even think of one person right now, picture them in your mind that you are the closest with, that you think about them, they call you, that you have the super deep connection with. You don't even have to say anything when you're sitting there hanging out together. A person that you literally can communicate with a look. Even that person still does not understand the inner workings of your own brain, cannot feel the feelings that you're feeling when you feel them. Do you know what I mean? Like we are spending every single waking, conscious and subconscious and unconscious moments solely with ourselves. We are the only one that can ever truly understand our thoughts when we have a hard time articulating them or not. We're the only one that can feel the depth of our feelings and understand the depth and the length and the breadth and the meaning behind our feelings and emotions and thoughts. And no matter how much we share and how much time we spend with any other singular person or multiple people, it really comes down to yourself. It truly does. And I think that's why that phrase, that cute little, cliche phrase, like, is so passed around and so popular. It goes so much beyond, so far beyond this little, like, I'm confident in myself. Like, it really is. And I think confidence comes with that. But until you get to that point of true, unconditional, forgiving, deep love for yourself, how can you really give that love to others? And then how can you really let others love you? Because they're not going to ever really see the true, full you, not to the extent that you see yourself and know yourself. And so I think a lot of that too comes with the acceptance of ourselves and who we are. There are a lot of things that I would like to change about myself. Sure, a couple of things physically, but a lot of things of, how I handle different emotions, how I show up in certain spaces, my response to things when I'm feeling unsafe or uncomfortable. Like I'm sure we all have things we would like to change about ourselves. But I think a big part of the deep unconditional love that you need to have starts with acceptance. And I think that in my journey of life in the last couple of years, a lot of things that I've been learning are those acceptance things. And for a while, when I was in a relationship with a romantic partner, I feel like there was a lot of times where I was looking for validation or approval, because in my head, it was like I painted this picture of what that sort of relationship looks like, right? I had this idea or expectation that person was going to love me unconditionally. But when that proved not to be the case, I had these thoughts of like, well, what's wrong with me? Or like, what am I doing wrong? Or like, how come I can't change that or change the way they see me? And so when I got out of that and started having this new level of epiphany of self-love, which goes like, this whole like self-love, self-care, like it's so important, but I don't think we're ever reaching the depths that we need to. Like, when I finally was getting to those depths within myself, I'm like, oh my gosh, first of all, those things had nothing to do with me at all. But second, the fact that now that I'm by myself on my own, spending all this time by myself on my own, things that I would usually be sharing with this romantic partner, I'm not anymore. That's when I was just learning so much about myself and accepting everything, every little thing, the things that other people weren't going to validate in me, the things that I, because of that, had a hard time validating within me. But it starts with us. And I think that's another reason why, like, I personally feel like jumping into things, into relationships and into whatever really quickly can be super scary. And literally, it's funny because I want to talk because literally I'm living with my now current romantic partner. And all of that happened literally so fast, but I don't know, I'm super in love. So I'm just gonna like let it slide. LOL at myself. But besides the point, I think that it's really scary and could be even, what's the word I'm looking for? Not dangerous, like detrimental maybe, if we're not we don't have that deep understanding and acceptance and unconditional love for ourselves before jumping into this like almost like codependent relationship with another person or persons or whatever that might look like to you. And it's, again, not even about romantic partnerships. It goes so much far beyond that. My friends, like, I am so blessed to have the friends that I do because they have showed me that love before I was able to give it to myself, like that super unconditional. Like, I'm like, when we were younger, I was the weirdest kid, and honestly, truthfully, I still am. But like, sometimes I look back and I'm like, how did they still want to hang out with me after I did or said X, Y, and Z? Like, I don't know. But besides the point, oh man, what was I getting at with that? Oh yeah, that it goes so much farther beyond romantic relationships. I think with any successful relationship, we have to have this acceptance and love for ourselves before we have that energy even to give to them and to let them love us, whoever them might be. And again, I think it's important to reconsider who you are, A, either giving your love to, or B, letting love you, because I say this because some people, even if the intentions are great, may not be loving you the way you need to be loved. And I say this because I think I've been there. I needed, in certain times in my life, what I needed from people was that unconditional love, and was not getting that. And because of that, I went into this little like cycle of suffering almost for a little while. And luckily, I'm surrounded by family and friends who do still and pretty much always have offered me that unconditional love. So like, it helped me to see it in a certain way when I wasn't receiving it in other like situations. But I think it also begs the question of, we need to ask ourselves, are we letting this person love us, and are we getting the love that we need to receive? And I think we are all so deserving of unconditional love, truly like fully forgiving, unconditional love. But some people, if they have not met themselves that deeply yet, they cannot offer that to you, what you need, nor can they give it to themselves. And that's why it's like a cycle. So it goes both ways. I cannot be giving you unconditional love if I'm projecting my insecurities and my reflections of myself onto you, that because I'm not receiving the love from myself, to give to you the kind of love that you deserve. And literally, it's funny because for so long, like, I don't know, for so long it sounds so dumb and like cliche to me, like this stupid little love yourself first and blah 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 phrase. And you can't love someone till you love yourself, whatever. You know what I mean. And I know you all know exactly what I'm talking about. But it really is so true and so deep. And it's funny that we learn that about cliches, right? That like cliches are truly, they're cliches for a reason. They're like so cheesy, but like so true. And it's like the beginning of that season of American Horror Story when they're like, my life changed in a day, like a cliche, but like all she say, it's true. Wow. I had a really hard time saying that just now. I love that I can see it in myself and feel it in myself when I'm getting like hyped up and fired up about a situation. Fire up or transfer. But yeah, and so I love that was such a cool part of my journey, in the sense that like it actually changed how I was living my life, how I was letting people love me, how I was giving love. And obviously it's like, I gotta remind myself sometimes. I'm like, I get so selfish and I get so like, I don't know, it's so easy to get caught up. We're humans, man. We do that. We do that a lot. It's easy for that to happen. But really, just little reminders, reminding ourselves where we come from, what we need, what we're able to give. And I got distracted drinking water and now I lost all train of thought. I feel like I've been talking a lot about, in my personal life, about reciprocal love and reciprocal energy. And that is so moving and so beautiful. But I also think that sometimes it doesn't need to be so reciprocal. And again, I say this with the intention of maybe some people in your life have not met themselves that deeply to give it to you. But if you have the energy and that space mentally and emotionally to give that love out, do it, because the world needs it. We need it. We, as a human race, as a planet, as a universe, are suffering because we're lacking that. We're lacking the ability to give that out. And so, big picture now here, that's important. Like, it's an integral part of the big picture. Like, how are you leaving your mark on this world? Like, energetically, if we can push out that love, like, we can change things. We truly, really can. And I really believe that. And so that starts with you. It's like that Michael Jackson song that's like, I'm looking at the man in the mirror. I don't think that's even the tune, but you get what I'm getting at, because literally it starts with ourselves. So full circle, there we are. I should call this a full circle podcast, because I swear to God, every single time I'm on an episode recording, I'm like, and full circle, there's the circle of life to everything I believe in the whole world. But full circle to the fact that deep, accepting, unconditional love needs to start within ourselves, because otherwise, where do we go from there? You know what I mean? I loved that. Thank you for sharing these moments with me. I want to keep creating. I want to keep shoving out that unconditional love. I really do. And so I hope that you got something out of this episode, as I always do, because I'm not just doing this for me. In part, I am, truthfully. I love doing this. I love speaking into a microphone, making something, putting it out into the world. I love processing things this way, because it's kind of funny. It's kind of like I'm journaling, except because my hand cannot write as fast as my mind goes. I feel like I'm able to even like let more out doing it this way. So freaking cool. And I have so many episodes like backlogged, y'all, from like this crazy time that's been in my life lately. So make sure you're subscribed on whatever like platform you listen to podcasts on. Seriously, like follow me. Follow the podcast. Let me know what you want to hear. Let me know questions. Let's talk. Let's start a conversation, because this is not a one-man show, baby. This is about you too. It's about connecting with each other and engaging. Yup. So yeah, if you want to support the podcast, there's always links in the show notes in the description of the episode. And if you want to follow me and see what I'm up to when I'm not doing this, it's all there. But also that's the place to like DM me and like start a conversation. Like I love, that's one of my favorite things, when someone's like, oh my gosh, I listened to your podcast the other day and like I liked blah, blah, blah. Or like, I wonder if blah, blah, blah. And so let's start a conversation. Like that's the point for me personally. Okay, so now to the musical portion of the episode, where I tell you a song that's been on repeat in my Spotify library through the on repeat playlist that Spotify makes for me in my library. And then I recommend you the song, because I have great music taste, and that's something I will go to the grave with, because that is so true. I want to share it with you. Let's share tunes. Okay, wow. I'm kind of annoyed that literally every week it seems to be an all-time low song, but at the same time, they're literally so good. Literally so good. So this week's song is The Way You Miss Me by All Time Low. I've been playing this on repeat because I saw them live a couple weeks ago, and they did this beautiful like piano version live, and like it hit in such a different way than I literally could have ever imagined the song would hit for me. And so I really hope that they produce like a studio version of it on the piano, because it was so beautiful. And also it's a song that, funny enough, oh my gosh, full circle, funny enough, this song brings me to this time in my life where I was not loving myself, and I was going back to people who didn't deserve my time, because it was like easy and it was like fiery, and that's literally exactly what I'm talking about in this episode. So I think it's so funny that that is the song. Anyway, The Way You Miss Me by All Time Low, definitely play it, check it out, and hopefully they release the studio version of the piano version soon. Anyway, thank you everyone for tuning in so much. Make your someday today, just like I did with this podcast, and I'll catch you in the next one.